In 2016, it was clear that tech's key challenge was its composition. We will underperform if every organization does not properly address D&I and not just simply give it the lip service that we're hearing. If we can really move the needle, the UK can become the leading tech ecosystem for women, for the Black community, for ethnic minorities, for people with disabilities, for young and older people, for neurodiverse people, and for members of the LGBTQ community.
It's just wonderful to see the work that Tech London advocates and global tech advocates is doing to open up the industry to new faces. With Tech UK booming, I want to make sure that everyone in the UK has a stake in that success. But there's still a huge disparity in things like gender, ethnicity, and socio-economic backgrounds. Tech is going to play a key role in spreading opportunity and prosperity across every corner of the UK. We're expecting a golden age for tech in the UK, and I want everyone to have a share in that.
Or TLA Women in Tech advocates have talked about how they've been able to get involved in more meteor digital projects, for example, which has been very exciting, and they've been able to spread their wings and learn more, which is great. But on the other side, we're very much hearing that it's pandered their opportunities for development.
I think one of the plateaus we've got to keep tackling, both in terms of ethnicity and gender, is not just getting the people in the door, but getting them into leadership. It's that growth, retention and promotion.
The last 2 years, obviously, because of COVID and because of what happened with, George Floyd, a lot of employees actually have been much more vocal about their demand, and therefore companies had to listen.
Organisations have, business strategies. Where are the strategies for schools? Where's the 5-year plan?
And we're able to build these connections into the wider community to allow the local young people access to the types of jobs which we know they would benefit from. But more importantly, we know they are more than capable of delivering into, if only they had the opportunity and the chance.
And it's great to see that TLA's work really complements what we're doing at City Hall. We've created a good work standard which recognises and encourages employers to take a lead on promoting diversity in recruitment. We have more to do, which is why you're meeting today and why I'll be with you on this journey every step of the way.
It's already been said that inclusion isn't something that's nice to have within the firm. It's not just about being socially responsible, and it's not necessarily a leadership style that leads to happier office, but it will lead to more fair and equitable outcomes. So I guess I put to you today, why don't we hear the outlier ideas more often? Why are we usually forced to conform as diverse people who are in organisations? And why aren't we encouraged regularly to raise our own outlier ideas in our workplaces? And I put to you, if you're working in an organisation today, to think about the last time you voted in favour of an outlier decision. And the answer really here is simple. We don't have enough inclusive leaders across all levels of firms enabling talent in this way, and most of our leaders don't actually believe diversity is an asset for the company. If there's anybody in the room who's felt that they've talked and given great ideas and they haven't been listened to or have been talked over, you haven't been in the room with an inclusive leader. A team led by an inclusive leader is like a family who argues with one another, safe in knowing that every person wants the same outcome, with disagreements only serving to express a point of view. However different to a family, inclusive leaders manage teams with high levels of social distance. Social distance is higher when team members are from different cultures, backgrounds, or demographic characteristics. In contrast, social distance is lower when there are high levels of affinity between team members, and so is productivity. Having inclusive leadership can't be done with a policy or a procedure, and it can't be done by a CEO who is not in every room. I've worked with many companies and individuals developing inclusive leaders, and I will say to you that something important happens when a team has an inclusive leader if you care about diverse talent. The progression of each team member is determined only by their skills and ability and effort, and you have a true meritocracy, not the meritocracy we see in a lot of firms today.
Very, very quickly as we bring people into the organisation, if you don't give them the right support networks at every single level, and you don't constantly and actively ask for feedback, and a number of the speakers have mentioned this earlier, I think that feedback is critical.
Yeah. We failed to measure the coherent story between the corporate goals and KPIs and the individual.
There has never been a more exciting, challenging, or important time to do the work that we do. And the potential to do incredible things has never been greater.
We need to change the narrative about why this is important. We need to get more people investing in women, more people investing in minorities, more people investing in Black founders. The list goes on.
Well, the evidence is now in that women back women. So this isn't about not including men, it's just about bringing more women in.
All I'm going to say is that to all the partners in the funds, challenge each other.
I guess what we have to do is we really have to kind of kickstart trust. Now we have this golden opportunity to rewrite the rules. So write the rules not about what's happening tomorrow, write the rules about what's happening in the future.
Just wanted to be clear that having the data really does help in order to promote that diversity and inclusion overall.
That technology can enable us to do more with regard to D&I. Are the biases of the past in the present that there needs to be change, but with the change, there's a massive disruption to the technology and the data that's being gathered. And I think we're at a sort of crossroads as to how do we address that.
One of the things around emerging technology, specifically AI, is that they give us the opportunities to do a lot more with a lot less.
We're trying to find our tribe, okay? So inclusivity is not just about identifying yourself as who you are, but it's also about finding those people around you to give you a bit of a lift.
The best way to keep yourself honest and humble is to have a lot of feedback, and in this true spirit of curiosity-driven science, that's the way we should be going. So,
immigration is actually an enabler. It allows companies to bring in overseas talent, have diverse workforces, and have them all based in the UK at the same time in the same time zone.
And we find that shocking because if you're investing in someone, you need to know about them. So why aren't those questions being asked? And why, if they are being asked, why aren't they being recorded and respected and valued and learned from each time? We want you to tell us about LGBT founders. We want you to tell us about investors who are open to do something a little bit different. And we want to bring them around the table and map out a new investment process for everybody that works.
So all this, we learn ways to make tech work for us and to overcome things. First off, disability means generally those who are disabled by the rest of the world. So let's be clear about that. And that is something in itself to think about. We're bridging the disabled and tech communities with our group at TLA. We want to facilitate the exchange of information and ideas. And that way, I think we can improve knowledge, awareness, and opportunities so that technology benefits everyone.
The first thing I want to say is I tick a lot of boxes for a lot of people. And one of the things that I'm seeing in the tech sector is that unfortunately, while we have grown a little bit, we haven't grown enough. We're kind of sick of seeing people say, we want to do this by 2030, we want to do this by 2035. Well, guess what? No, you need to do it now. And you've had more than enough time to say it. You need to treat D&I like it's climate change. This is life. We can't build a thing without everybody being involved. And right now we've seen that the past has not worked because not everybody has been involved. And right now it needs to be everybody. And I'm sorry, but actually, no, I'm not sorry. Because women, we are 50% of this world. And we are not making decisions. Right now, what we need to do is remember, it is about life. There are 50% of the women, and I think it's actually more women in the world right now, that we need to be in charge of things. We need to be the ones that are The fact of the matter is, it comes down to the basic mindset. We cannot have education without people changing their minds in the first place. You can't have teachers teaching the same thing over and over again, because guess what? I can guarantee right now in 5 years, we're going to have some of the same companies saying the same thing. And I give your hats off, Russ, because you have basically just timestamped this.
Let's keep working together to drive meaningful change with respect to diversity and inclusion.
We want this to be a milestone, not the end of a conversation, more the start of a new conversation.